All right, Coach. One weekend, two tough games, but two quality opponents. Just talk about how your team responded over the weekend.
Overall, I was quite happy. Obviously, not with the results, but I think that we played extremely well against, like you say, two very difficult opponents. Two teams that are ranked in the top 40. There was moments where we kept the ball really, really well. We caused them some problems, particularly in the early parts of the game. So overall, I was pleased, and obviously, you put those types of teams on the schedule, so you can see some holes and see where the issues are, and we certainly saw that as well. So we know what we need to build on as we move forward.
Going into the first, I guess, road weekend, do you do anything different with being the first road trip, or, and like you said, you worked this week on stuff that you found that you need to work on?
Sure. So yeah, we're looking at based off of the first weekend. The training sessions have all been designed around the things that we need to work on going into the next set of games, and so it's about us at this early stage of the season just working really, really hard, preparing ourselves for each different opponent and the challenges that they bring, and so I've been really pleased with what we've seen so far this week, and we've just got to keep building and keep getting stronger each week.
Talk about Alabama A&M and Jackson State just going on the road and playing those two good opponents.
Very athletic teams, quick in certain areas, pacey in wide areas. So for us, we just need to be really clever about how we set up, make sure we don't get caught on the counter, and earn our right to play with the ball and keep possession of it in key areas and not give the ball away cheaply.
You've always mentioned Isobel Spray in our conversations. Just talk about what she brings to the program.
Honestly, she's one of the best players I've ever worked with, and I'll go along with that. My 10 years I spent at Mississippi State. She knows the game. She reads the game. Tactically, she's really astute. She's a leader on the field. She keeps everybody straight when we're playing in the games. Once they cross the line, there's not an awful lot I can do to help them. So you need players like Izzy on the field to help organise and tell people where we're going wrong and fix issues as they happen. And so she's great at that. She's very good on the ball. Great decision maker. Great range of passing as a holding midfielder. She's one of those players that doesn't get a lot of credit because she plays in a role that is not glamorous, but she is very, very good at it, and we're very lucky to have her and have her as someone who not only is just a good player but a great leader as well.
You got to play a bit more people like freshmen, the newcomers. What did you see out of the new people that they can take forward?
Again, for the young players, they kind of get thrown off the deep end a little bit when they get in, and I think they've all done really well. I think they probably are a little shocked at the pace of the game and the aggression of the game at times. So it's really good that they have kind of got their feet wet this first kind of 3 games that we've played, and we feel very confident in them. The girls that have played have done well, and they're just going to keep growing and keep improving.
All right, Izzy, just talk about the first 2 games against 2 quality opponents.
The first 2 games, yeah, they were difficult, but both Samford and South Alabama are very good teams. We had game plans going into them, and I think against Samford we did a good job. Obviously, the results maybe didn't quite reflect that, but I think we take these games and we just learn from them and just grow from the mistakes that we kind of made.
How has it been at practice after you've been in this week, after you've had 2 games under your belt? Is it different from the preseason because you kind of know what you need to work on?
I think preseason in general is just hard, and I think those challenges were intensified with how many new girls we had starting. Obviously, after sort of the first weekend of games, we could kind of reflect on what we'd maybe messed up on. So I think there was obviously a little bit of frustration going into this week after the games because we wanted to just make those changes now, but it's a process and things take time, so we just got to be patient with it.
How do you take the past 2 to 3 games into the first road trip? Everything's kind of different. You're not in your friendly confines. Just talk about playing on the road.
I think we just got to go into it confident. I mean, obviously, like I say, there's a lot of new girls, so for them it's their first time travelling. But I think as a team, we just got to come together and realise what the main goal is of this weekend, which is obviously to come away with 2 wins. But I think we're capable of doing that.
Coach speaks highly of you, and just talk about your position and just kind of maybe your role on this team and in this program.
Yeah, I mean, as a holding mid, you definitely don't get the credit that some people do. It's a lot of running, especially off the ball. But I mean, I've always been a defensive player, so it's easy for me to just kind of slot there and tell people where they need to be and communicate as much as I can. And I think as long as I'm doing what coach wants me to do, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. And if I can just help my teammates the best I can, that's kind of my goal.
What have you seen of Alabama A&M and Jackson State? No, Alabama A&M beat Troy, and so just talk about the two sides that you'll be playing this weekend.
Like Coach said, they're both very athletic sides. However, I think from what we've worked on over pre-season, we've touched a lot on like tactical decision making, how our forwards can get involved, and I think if we just grow on that and just sort of push forward with gameplay and keeping the ball the best that we can. Like we possessed quite well against Samford at times, especially in the exhibition game against Chattanooga. So I think if we just keep the ball, then we'll be fine.